Hi everyone, and welcome to Cooking with Cricket. Today I'm going to bring you along as I attempt to make some potato chip bark. I'm sure that many of you have probably tried the chocolate dip potato chips. My son and I did like a couple of years ago. We bought a pack of them. Actually kind of didn't like them, but I might like this better because it'll be a lot of chocolate with a little crispy in it. I watch a channel called Hercules Candies. I've been watching them for a couple of years. I make their candies. They make this, and they'll tell everybody to go ahead and try it. They, show how they make it and stuff, so we're going to try it. So I'm using the Ruffles potato chips. That's what they use. I'm going to use a whole bag of the milk chocolate chips, and I'm going to use just some of peanut butter chips. Yeah, I got them on sale at the Woohoo at Kroger. So I'm going to melt my milk chocolate. You can melt it in the microwave or in a double boiler. You just don't want to burn it. If you melt it in the microwave, do it for like 30 seconds at a time until it starts melting, and then reduce that to 15 seconds at a time. If there's still some chocolate chips in a bunch of melted, don't do it anymore. Just set and stir it till the chips melts. I'll show you that, and I'll bring you back. Okay, I just wanted to show you can still see some chips in there that's not melted, but if you just keep stirring it, they will all melt. See, they're melting quickly. Now, I'm not going to use this right away because this chocolate is extremely hot, and I want it to cool back down. So, that'll take maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes. And so, I'll just keep stirring it, letting it set, stirring it, letting it set. If I had my thermometer, I could tell you, but I don't. So. But we want to let it cool back down to about 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So I will get my surface ready. I'm just going to put some parchment paper down on my tabletop. I'm just going to spread out a bunch of parchment paper and make it on that. First of all, sorry about the lighting. You're going to see my shadows and stuff, but I'm having to do this on my table. If you've been to my house, you know my kitchen is tiny. A lot of the filming goes at the table. So, and the lighting's not that great. But my chocolate has cooled down enough. I can touch it, and it's just barely warm. So I am going to put on gloves because it's going to be messy. Now, instead of me putting my potato chips on here first and pouring the chocolate over it, I'm going to pour some of my chocolate first and then add some of the potato chips because I won't know how much I'm going to need until I do that. Because I don't want too many potato chips and not enough chocolate and vice versa. So I'm just going to spread some down right now. And I'm not making a lot. Just enough for us to try and, have for a snack. So there's about half of it. Spread it out just a little bit. And I'm going to have to work fast because it will start setting up fast. I'm not going to crunch them up much because they will crunch up as I work with it. And I can always add some more. Now, if this was just me eating this, nobody in my house really likes dark chocolate but me. This would be made with dark chocolate, but since other people will be eating it, I'm using milk chocolate. So I'm just going to kind of squish this around for a minute. See if I need some more chips. Yes, I think I can use some more chips. Just a few more. Just want to make sure my potato chips are good and covered. I could actually probably use just a few more. I'm going to start patting it down and trying to get it like in a square or rectangle. Rectangle, not rectangle. Kind of getting it into a thin layer. Okay, that looks good to me. And I could see some spots where I could have used a few more potato chips. And I can always crumble one up and put it in those few spots. And pat them in there. Okay, that looks good. So I'm going to let it sit for a minute and come back and just pat it down. Until it all sets up. And then I won't show that whole process. I'll keep this lengthy part in just to kind of show you me tapping it down. And let me bring you in closer. Alright. And I'll just come back through and pat it down. And it'll start setting up. And that way I can make sure all of my chips are covered with some chocolate. But once it starts to set up, I'll bring you back. Okay, while I'm still waiting on this to set up, I have my peanut butter chips. This is maybe almost a half a cup. I don't want a lot because we're just going to scatter some on the top. But I'm going to go ahead and melt it just like I did the chocolate chips. But since this is just such a small amount, 15 seconds stir, 15 seconds stir until they're almost melted, and then just stir it until they're all the way melted. Okay, where it is just so warm in my house today, I mean we're having a very warm, beautiful sunny day. This is just having a hard time go ahead and setting up. So I am going to just slide it, parchment paper and all, on my sheet pan. Put it in the refrigerator for like maybe 5 minutes just to help cool it on down. And then I'll bring you back. Okay, here is my peanut butter chips. And when they melted down, they're sometimes like white chocolate, it can be a little stiff even when they're melted. And we want this to kind of flow. So you can add just a little bit of oil to it, or coconut oil, and stir it to help loosen it up to get it to, you know, a good consistency like that. So just a little tip. Alright, that was all it needed, was to go in the refrigerator for a few minutes. It's still a little tacky, but that's okay. And before I put my peanut butter on here, if you wanted to add some sprinkles, you know, springtime's approaching. If you have some, I got some pretty pastel kind of sprinkles and stuff. If you wanted to add that, you could. I'm not. I'm just going to leave it just like it is. So I'm going to try to take a fork, stir it in my chocolate, get up a scoop, and just kind of start going back and forth like this. I may not use all of this peanut butter. I'll just gauge to how much I want on there. Okay, now I'm going to stick this back in the refrigerator for about 5 minutes, let everything set up, and I'll bring you back and we'll slice it up. Alright, my potato chip bark is ready. Now I have my pizza cutter that I'm going to try to cut it into some bite-sized pieces or big squares or however it turns out. The potato chips still sound crunchy. That's a good thing. Still needs to set up just a little bit more, but at least it's already cut. So I'm going to put this back in the refrigerator. I'll get it plated up, and then we'll be back and we'll try some. And here's my finished potato chip bark with chocolate and peanut butter. So now let's try a bite. Okay, I don't know if you could hear, but the potato chips are still very crunchy in it. And it honestly reminds me of a crispy bar. A crispy bar with like Rice Krispies in it. But I like this. This is very good. So I will be making this more often. So anyway, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, comment, because I love hearing from you. And until my next video, I hope you enjoy. Have you ever tried chocolate dipped potato chips? Would you like to try this? If you do, how is the way that you might change it up? Please let me know. Alright, I just had my daughter try it. She was very skeptical of trying it. Go ahead, Nikki.
Honestly, I wasn't for sure about it because of the ruffles in there, the salty, but it actually gives it a really good taste and crunch. So.
It does. That little bit of salt that was on the chips. It's really good. So now she's done ate a whole piece and probably going in for another piece. So I just wanted to give her honest opinion on here too. Bye, y'all.